You're listening to Tusc Talks Radio. Stay tuned as we talk about important community topics and what's happening at Kent State Tuscarawas. Learn about the campus and its academic programs, athletics, student activities, performing arts center events, and community involvement. The purpose of Kent State Tuscarawas is to help you find yours. With 27 degree programs, low tuition, and excellent faculty, you can create your own success story at Kent State Tuscarawas.
It's 8:18 as we talk with Dean Brad Bielski on a Wednesday morning. And hopefully, Dean, we can keep our connection going here. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Steve?
So far, so good. You know, our lives have changed a little bit, and we're adapting to it. One of the things I was thinking, though, about the college-age student is that they are real good about the technology today. So the way you guys have been doing, teleconferencing and so forth, this is working out pretty well for you.
It is. We're getting mostly positive reviews. In fact, a few students really like the idea that they're working from home. All of them are frustrated by the fact that they're not getting out of their homes enough. But
right.
But some of the courses they're enjoying. Of course, we still have a group of folks that for which this is a little bit of a struggle. But we're trying to assist them in any way possible to make this experience as good as possible for them.
And it could be an extended period, so we hope everybody is understanding and realizing what's going on. And with that being said, Dean, admissions, all of the normal procedures are still happening at the campus. It's just not face-to-face, it's online, correct?
That is true. We've created kind of a one-stop email place for people to go to ask general questions. It's called info.tusc at kent.edu. So if you're interested in either applying or registering and are not quite sure of the process, you should have a qualified, competent person get back to you quickly with the correct routing at this point. Or you can call our main hotline, and that will do the same thing. Most people are using the email portlet right now.
Let's give that email that set up again one more time.
info.tusc at kent.edu.
Okay.
So it's our one-stop shop, if you will, to get all questions about the university processes answered.
Okay.
You mentioned about applications and advising and so forth, and that's still continuing, and it's being done either over the phone or electronically. So we still encourage students to apply. We full well expect to be up and running in a normal fashion in the fall semester for sure. And this is a really good time to sit down and maybe work out FAFSA forms for students, start to think about majors and so forth. So while everything else is on folks' mind, this is something to look forward to for a lot of students, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, so if you have questions, like you say, you're filling out FAFSA forms, or you just want to have you have a question about admissions or whatever it may be, the best way is to go with that email address, info.tusc at kent.edu, kind of your one-stop location, and be patient. Somebody will reply to your question.
Absolutely. And then, we still have our general website that you can go to and navigate as well. So most of those specific areas have web pages and links on them. So if you want to bypass the process of InfoTusc, you can go straight to the website.
And again, just want to get that word out there to everybody that things are working, things are moving just as they normally would, with the difference it's not a face-to-face get-together. I assume all of the different professors and so forth are connected with their groups and their classes and so forth. So everybody kind of has their individual groups they're talking with, which fits their schedule.
They do, and I have evidence of that at the Bielski house here. We have two children that are Kent State students. I have a daughter who's a fashion design major up at the Kent campus, and my son is in engineering technology at the Tusc campus. So actually, we kind of battle for computing time here.
That was my question. Are you assigning times when everybody can get their work done?
We are. I think my daughter, who's a 14-year-old, is right now in an online class for Dover High School. So Fortunately, we've got a few computers, but I think our bandwidth gets stretched from.
I think that's happening around the country right now. There are certain times of day that it is you notice a definite slowdown. So yeah, the strain is on the system, no doubt about it. Dean Bielski, as you talk to your colleagues and associates around the state, are they getting the same results that you're having here at our campus? That things are working fairly well during this unique way of doing our normal routine?
I think the answer to that's yes, across the state. So, I have friends at the University of Cincinnati, at Ohio State, and the various other, and some of the private institutions here. And by and large, I think people are adapting as best they can. So it's very new for a lot of folks. But I think the state university system for sure, and a lot of the private universities have really stepped up to give students a really good experience. And our president, Todd Dyakin, in one of his releases mentioned that Kent State is probably leading the way in many regards, because for many years Kent State has had more credit hours or is among the leaders of credit hours taught in alternative environments, so online, hybrid, different modalities. So for some universities, this may have been a completely new experience, where for Kent State, I think I heard about 20 or 30%, something along those lines, of our credit hours were taught in alternative formats in the past.
Wow.
So there were resources out there, like our Center for Teaching and Learning, that could help guide this process. And we were very fortunate to have those resources available to us.
One of the notes that I picked up on this week was the anniversary of the events back in 1970, which this year will mark the 50th. A lot of commemorations were planned, but unfortunately, those commemorations have now been canceled. That's kind of just part of what we're dealing with across the world and across the country with the isolation today.
Yeah, absolutely. We had our own major event planned for April 16th. John Hayes, one of our first students and first student government president at Kent State Tuscarawas, was coming back to give his reflections because he was a journalist for the Kent Stater up at Kent State during May 4th, 1970. So he was going to come back. We're not saying that we're canceling things. We are pushing things.
Exactly.
So we don't have an alternate date for that yet, but certainly we're disappointed here on our campus, and as we are the entire university system, for having to cancel those things. But we'll do them at some point. Likewise with commencement and graduation, the same thing. A lot of our graduates right now are really saddened about the fact that we're not going to have our commencement ceremony on a normal date.
Sure.
But we've committed, as Kent State, to having the opportunity for students to process across that stage, our beautiful Performing Arts Center, at the appropriate time. As soon as this kind of experience is over and past, we'll announce a date, and our students will have that opportunity.
Good information. We're talking with Dean Brad Bielski from Kent State University, Tuscarawas. Once again, the landing site for questions, info.tusc@kent.edu. Everything is proceeding forward, just not face-to-face. Dean Bielski, we appreciate your time this morning. We will talk again next week as we do each Wednesday morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dean Brad Bielski joining us this morning from Kent State. It's our Tusc Talk segment. And again, join us every Wednesday right here on Big Hits WBTC.